Hello and welcome to the Pet Travel Insider Podcast, a podcast produced by Starwood Pet Travel to help pet owners who are considering transporting their pets gain an understanding of the process, learn the ins and outs of the import rules for destinations across the globe, and hopefully gather some tips and tricks to make the process go smoother. On the Pet Travel Insider Podcast, we talk to experts including pet transporters, government officials, and vets, all in order to give you the insight you need to approach pet travel with confidence. I'm your host, Adam Melton. I am VP of Strategic Initiatives here at Starwood. And on today's podcast, we are discussing Portugal. Portugal is currently a very trendy spot for Americans to go to, it seems, both the sort of digital nomad types and retirees. At Starwood, we've seen an 11x increase in requests for services from the US to Portugal from 2021 to 2025. So a short period of time, but a huge increase in requests for services to Portugal. And today we are sitting down with our Portuguese partners at Global Pets. Global Pets services the destination side of all of our move packages heading to Portugal. They handle customs clearance and home delivery for us. Global Pets is part of the larger relocation company based in Portugal called Global International Relocation that does everything from assisting with household goods to vehicle registration to immigration and visa assistance. So we're sitting down with Diana DaCosta from Global International Relocation and Dr. Rita Afonso with their pet shipping division, Global Pets, to hear about how to get a pet into Portugal, what life is like in Portugal with a pet, and also things and services beyond pets to consider when planning a relocation to Portugal. Diana and Dr. Rita, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We have a lot to talk about today. Portugal is a big destination for especially Americans traveling over there. There's a huge uptick in travel services over to Portugal. We have lots of things we want to talk about. We want to talk about what the import process is like for pets into Portugal, what life with a pet is like on the ground in Portugal after you get your pet over there, and a little bit about your broader services that you offer as a company. But before we jump in that, I would love to hear a little bit about both of your guys' backgrounds and how you got into the roles and what roles you do play. So Diana, first, what is your role at the company and how did you get there?
So right now I'm working in the sales department, more inside of the household goods. Basically, we are a mobility company. So Global Pets is part of the division of a company called Global International Relocation. And we offer a lot of other services for the relocations and for the movement of the people around the world. So basically, this is my dad's company. I remember growing up hearing about, especially for the part of the household goods, every single time, like about the 20-foot containers and cubic meters and, all the documents needed. I remember being a little girl and at home and just hearing my dad talking by the phone about all the time about this. He already works on this industry for more than 30 years. And so he works for another companies first before he opened Global International in 2008. Basically, I born in Venezuela. So I'm half Venezuelan, half Portuguese. My family are from Portugal. We live in other places like in the US. We lived in Spain, Brazil, and in Venezuela. And when we came back to Venezuela, my dad decides to come to Portugal and open alone the company.
Okay.
Then I was studying and then I went for a year in London to learn English because I already knew that I want to come to the Global International Relocation to work here. At the first time, for the first 2 years, yes, working Global Pets.
Okay.
It was right in the beginning of the department of the division of Global Pets inside of the company.
Gotcha.
Worked for a couple of years there. Actually, I really like it. I really enjoy it, but I understand that it wasn't for me because I'm a very anxious person and I am a too much like real pet person also. So it was too much.
Yeah,
No,
lots of anxiety around pet travel.
Yeah, it was.
People get anxious about moving their pets, but not usually their household goods. They don't care about their tables or
totally
their chairs.
Different.
But yeah,
you are like you are moving your kid, not
you're right, exactly.
Something with
It's
feelings.
Right. Well, so a lot of people I interview on the podcast, they didn't grow up thinking that they would enter pet travel or pet transportation, but it sounds like it's a little bit different for you. You grew up kind of coming to learn the language of transportation and logistics. So maybe this was your fate after all.
My destination.
Yeah. Awesome.
So when I I came in 2019, and in the COVID, I changed for the household goods department. Right now, I'm doing inside sales and also agent relations. So yeah,
Okay.
just a little
Awesome.
about.
Yeah. Thank you for that background. And Dr. Rita, share a little bit about your role currently at Global Pets and how you came to that role.
Yeah. So I'm current manager at Global Pets. I'm a veterinarian. So I finished my veterinary school in 2020, right in the middle of COVID. And all my background was only in small animal clinic, like dogs and cats. I was not enjoying that very much because the profession here in Portugal and the work of a veterinarian here in Portugal is not have like an important role in people's lives because they do not acknowledgement our importance, you know.
I gotcha.
So
Okay.
it was quite a stressful situation when you have like a sick dog or a cat and the owners do not understand why we need to do like the tests and to figure out what's going on. So I didn't enjoyed life as working as a clinical veterinarian. So I find myself looking for another career. I went for some months to be like a teacher, a science teacher for little kids. And then was when I found out that pet shipping was like a thing.
Most people don't know it's a thing.
Yeah, I was not aware. So I found like the job in the Global International Relocation and I applied for the job. I got interviewed and everything. I was thinking, wow, this is really interesting. And I can see how for me being a veterinarian can be a plus for the company to have me here because I think I can figure out the logistics parts. So I joined the company. It's going to make 4 years this year.
Okay.
I just learned the logistics part. I think it's quite understandable. And I just joined the veterinary acknowledgement that I have, but for all the documentation for me, it's really easy to understand what is required. So, and also we can also provide veterinary services for our clients. For pets that are going to be exported from Portugal, we can offer the dewormings, the vaccinations, the blood tests, everything that is necessary. And also for the pets that are arriving in Portugal, if the owners needs anything like pet passports for travel along Europe and everything, we can also do that for them.
Nice. Yeah, that's so great to have it all in kind of a one-stop shop. You can do the transport and the certification and all of that stuff. That's great. Let's maybe take a step back and learn a little bit about the history of the company. Diana, you said that your dad started Global International Relocation. When did he start that? And then when did the pets, Global Pets, come into play in the larger company?
So basically, we first started only as the household goods. So basically only for the moving department. And in 2015, my dad was looking for something new that will help the people who moves their goods and they need something else for like an extra service. And one day he was with this client and the client was with this little dog. She was explaining to my dad that he's a kid, he loved her. And she was very worried because she didn't know how to move it because she was a big dog and can't go on the cabin. So all this stuff. And then my dad was like, okay, this is something that we can help you with. So then this was an idea to jump to the department of the pet relocation.
Gotcha. And you said that was in 2015 that you started that?
Yeah. So we started Global Pets, the division of Global Pets in 2015.
Okay, awesome. When did Global International Relocation, the main company, how old is that company?
So we started in 2008, in February in 2008.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, and love to definitely dig into a little bit more about what your broader company, the offerings that you guys have there in a moment. So first, before we jump into that, if we can press into pets a little bit more, you mentioned needing to start Global Pets because you had a customer, your dad had a customer that had a pet, needed it transported. Well, I mean, we've seen it at Starwood. We've seen a huge increase in people who need to move with their pets over the last 10 years, but specifically to Portugal. It's been a huge increase. I was just pulling some numbers before.
Trendy.
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
very trendy. Yeah. And I wanted to like have some numbers to back that up. So I looked back from 2021. So like after the pandemic to today, in 2021, we had 73 inquiries for the United States to Portugal. Last year in 2025, we had 807 inquiries to Portugal. So that's a 11x, over an 11x increase from 2021 to 2025. And interestingly enough, these inquiries are coming from places that are already kind of like good quality of living, like California and Florida, that are already like good climates and good. But they see something over in Portugal that they want to get. So what do you think that is? What was attracting people to Portugal?
Good weather, good food, good people,
Okay, okay.
and I don't know.
I presume cost of living, it's probably plays into that a little bit. I do, and I've heard in the news too that it seems like for the customers that we're helping move over to Portugal, we have kind of two groups. You have like the millennial digital nomad types who have remote jobs after the pandemic, and so they're like, oh, okay, where in Europe can we go and live and have great work-life balance, whatever. But then we also have a lot of
Yeah, they have
retirees, right?
exactly. So for the first one is for people who works for an nomada, yeah, or if you are working for a US company, for example, for another company not in Portugal, your contract is for a company outside of Portugal, and but you want to live here, so you work remotely, okay?
Gotcha.
So that's
Gotcha.
one of the visas that right now is getting a lot, and actually the D7 one that is for the retired.
And so that had, you guys have seen an increase in the visas, and that is the visa for the sort of digital nomad. That's a newer type of visa, right? That Portugal
Yeah.
created in the last few
Yes.
years.
Yes. It's just started a couple years ago, something like that. As soon as also they closed the golden visa, well, you still can have it, but it's not as easy as it was before. So
Okay.
basically they closed it or put it a little more difficult than it was, and then they have this another option after the pandemic for people who works for remotely.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. All right, so everyone's coming over there for good weather, good people, good food. Seems
Especially
like a
the
great
food.
place. Yeah, and your green wine, right? Vino Verde, is that how you say it?
I think I have to say for the whole wine in general, white, red, and of course the green is because it's something different and people never hear about it. But we have a very good red and white wine too. Really.
Yeah. And of course, port, right? That's one of the big
Yeah,
things you guys
of course,
export.
port
Yeah.
wine. The port wine is a dessert wine. Okay, it's a very
Right.
sweet wine, and you only drink like a little, like a small shot. Basically, it's not a regular glass if you want to, but then you will be a little dizzy. But yeah, but it's very very nice. We have a good gastronomy. Absolutely.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We have a very so many options. Every single city or every single village you go, you have different dishes, different foods, desserts, and of course the wine in Portugal is right now is gaining the name. So it's getting more popular, and you have beautiful wineries and beautiful boutique hotels for wine taste, and I think it's very worth it. And
it's definitely, I mean, the numbers show that it's
anyone
definitely
wants to come to Portugal, just contact me that I can give you some ideas or
local recommendations.
Some recommendations, and I'll be so happy to help.
There's a lot to attract people. The numbers show it. It seems, it's very trendy to move to Portugal right now. So let's dig into how to get your pet to Portugal. Portugal is obviously the queen of pet travel. We'll defer to her. Can you give me a high level overview of how to get your pet into Portugal? I know it's part of the EU and there's kind of the common rules for that, but can you give a high level overview specifically from the United States going over to Portugal, what needs to be done?
Portugal is within the European Union, and the European Union has established some rules of importing pets, but on these rules every country can adapt them to be more strict. So in Portugal we can see some more strict rules than other European countries. pets are going to need a microchip and the rabies vaccination. The microchip can be done on the same day as the rabies, but the rabies cannot be done before the microchip. The rabies vaccination can be valid for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, depending on the manufacturer of the vaccination. The pet will need to travel with a health certificate, depending if it is a non-commercial or a commercial movement. The health certificate have a different validity of endorsement by the USDA. There is the veterinarian authorities there in the US. For importing are quite strict for the non-commercial movements. So for the pets to not pay any taxes and duties over when arriving in Portugal, the owners needs to travel within 7 days before or the same day as the pet. So the owners cannot arrive after the pet. So in the other countries of the European Union, you can have the owners to arrive within 5 days after the pet, but not in Portugal right now.
Okay. Wow. So that's an important difference. So you said it can arrive up to 7 days before the owner or on the same day as the owner, but the pet can't arrive after the owner. Is that correct? Did I get that right?
And no, the owner needs to arrive 5 days before or same day as the pet. So the pet can arrive after the owner.
Okay, gotcha. So that's a difference with the broader EU rules.
Yeah. So, and this is because the customs here in Portugal are asking for the boarding pass of the owners. So if the owner is traveling after, we will not have the boarding pass for the flight. It will be a commercial under the customs. So the pet parents will need to pay taxes and duties over the shipment.
Okay. And what the customs authorities, what sort of document do they accept for the boarding pass? Is it a screenshot? Is that okay? Or what exactly are they looking for?
Yes, it can be a screenshot of your boarding pass or like a photo if you have like the regular boarding pass when you go to check in the baggage and they give you like the card, you can take a photo.
Okay.
But there are some details that needs to be on the boarding pass. The name of the owner and the date of the travel needs, because we have received some screenshots of some airlines that do not have the date of the flight, only the hours. So they do not accept that the boarding passes.
Okay.
They are quite tricky, but it's just to make sure of the date of the flight to be within the 5 days before or same day as the pet. Also, all the documentation needs to be under the owner's name, the person that is traveling. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
And only one name. For example, it is a couple with one dog. The documentation can be only in name of one person. Okay.
Okay.
So it cannot be the couple's name, but only one, and the legal owner is the one that is traveling.
Okay. And that's when you talk about documentation, you're talking about the rabies certificate and the health certificate that need to have the one person's name on it?
Yes, correctly. And also the pet ticket, the wear bill.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, that's a really important difference from the rest of the EU, because you have to have that boarding pass that has the name and the date. And so you need to plan to arrive on the same day as your pet, or the pet can arrive up to 5 days after. Okay.
Yes.
So, and that's to avoid commercial import. Let's talk a little bit about what commercial import, what triggers that. Obviously, if the pet is arriving before or after that 5-day window, if you don't have that boarding pass, seems to me that counts as commercial. But is there anything else that makes a movement or shipment commercial other than arriving outside of that window?
Yes, if the owner has more than 5 pets, if he have 6 or more pets, it also be considered a commercial move. So non-commercial movements are only up to 5 pets.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what does that change for the customs process, the import process? If it is commercial, you mentioned extra duties, but I mean, how much are we talking about? What's the cost of that commercial import?
The costs are 23% over the cost of the travel of the pets, and also the costs that the customs itself gives to the pet. Normally, the minimum is 40 euros per pet, the value of the pet. It's just like a value not for his life, just just a costumes thing.
Right.
It's 23% of the total cost of the travel. So it's big it's a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So want to avoid commercial if at all possible. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with that. Is there anything else that changes with the customs import process if it's commercial, other than paying those 23% fees on the airfare and on the value of the pet?
On the process itself, it takes a little longer because it needs to be submitted electronically, the fees, and we need the pre-approval of those fees. So it can take an extra hour to get the pet cleared. So normally non-commercial are faster to get the pet out of the airport, and the commercial ones, they can take a little bit more.
Okay. What sort of issues do you run into, or kind of common mistakes that happen when people are importing their pets? What kind of issues are you running into other than maybe as we talked about the boarding pass situation? Are there any other things that you guys have to deal with as far as mistakes go with import?
Yeah, sometimes people are not aware of these very restrict rules. So normally what usually happens is on the rabies certificates, they have both owners' names. And then only one person arrives here, and the customs, we need to ask the owners a declaration attesting that they are married or pet belongs to both. And it's quite hard sometimes because customs just wanted to make sure the pet is not getting stolen or anything. So that's why we need for all documentation to be under the person that is traveling, the name, because they cannot prove that the pet belongs to that person if the person are not relocating here as well or traveling here. So they will be considered like a commercial because it can also be a sale for a pet or something. So
gotcha. Okay. So the name on the paperwork is really important.
Yeah. And also on the rabies certificate, it needs to be stated, the clients needs to be stated as owner. Cannot be client name, but owner name. So.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So assuming everyone, the paperwork is done correctly, they've listened to your advice, the name matches on all the paperwork, matches the boarding pass, it's only in one person's name, all those things are done correctly, the microchip is done correctly, the rabies is good, and it's a normal customs clearance. How long does that take when the pet, assuming a Lisbon arrival, how long does that take once the pet lands there in Lisbon for that import or customs clearance process to complete?
Yeah. So it really depends on the time the flight lands and if the flight needs a veterinary inspection here in Lisbon or not. So if your pet is traveling through another EU country, if your pet has a layover in other European country like Frankfurt or Amsterdam, they will not need a veterinary inspection on arrival to Lisbon because it's already done in the other country. But if your pet needs a veterinary inspection in Lisbon, and for example, sometimes we have direct flights from the US that arrive 5 or 6 a.m., the pet will need to wait for the state vets to arrive to the airport. The state vet only opens at 10.
Okay. So that might be one reason to use a layover flight because, yes, obviously a direct flight would be quicker overall, but if you go through Frankfurt on Lufthansa, for instance, the vet piece for the EU is already done. And assuming we get a flight that arrives in business hours, I presume the import is a lot quicker, right? And they don't have to wait around for anyone for the office to open up, right?
Yeah. That's correct. Normally business hours clearance and outside normal business hours for travel with a layover can take 3 to 6 hours to have final clearance. If veterinary inspection is needed and the pet arrives outside business hours, the clearance can take up to 8 hours, depending on the
Okay.
Because
so it's 3 to 6 hours if a vet inspection is needed. That's through the 3 to 6 hour window.
The 3 to 6 hours, it's when the veterinary is not needed.
Oh, okay.
Depending on which flight the pet arrives. 8 hours if the veterinary inspection is needed.
Gotcha. Okay. And what time does the flight need to land in Lisbon for it to be considered kind of within business hours, to be cleared without any after hours or, any issues with the office being closed?
Yeah. So customs office closes at 4. So all flights arriving after 3 will be considered outside because normally the airlines takes 1 to 2 hours to give us the original document. So if the flight arrives at 3, we will not get in customs in time for 4 p.m. So we will need to pay an extra charge for an extra opening of costumes.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's not like the pet is stuck. You can clear after hours. It just costs extra.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. That's great.
For the flights with a layover. Okay. Because the flights who need veterinary inspection, the pet can only arrive until the 3 p.m. because also the veterinary is closing at 4.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So obviously, for all of our services that Starwood does over to Portugal, we include destination services. We partner with you guys to do the import and the customs clearance. But I do know that we do get some customers who say, oh, I'll just do the customs clearance myself. I'll figure that out. Would you say that that's a good idea or a bad idea to do the customs yourself?
It's a really bad idea because because the pet will arrive in the cargo terminal in Lisbon Airport and no one speaks English there. So
okay.
It's not, it's not easy for Portuguese people alone because they not understand what steps needs to be done because we need to pick up the documentation in one side of the airport, go to customs in the other side of the airport, then go to the warehouse, animal room where the pet is. So it's not easy to understand the process alone. And, normally the people at the airport will not give like any clues of what the process looks like. For like Portuguese, we have a lot of pets coming from other Portuguese speaking countries, and it's not easy for them. For people that do not speak Portuguese, it's not easy at all. It's possible, but it will take you all day.
Yeah, so it's
and
not,
the people
it's not worth your time.
They are not nice at all. They are not
that much friendly.
Yeah.
Okay, so better have you guys handle that. You guys know where to go. You know who to talk to. Much quicker that way. How does it work when the pet is, you mentioned having to go to multiple offices and there's, that 3 to 6 hour time. Where are the pets kept after they get off the flight while they're awaiting the final pickup after the clearance is done?
So the pets will stay in the cargo terminal in Lisbon Airport, at the warehouse with the animal room. It's next to the veterinary room, Even if they came from a flight with a layover, that do not need to be checked by the veterinary here, but they will stay there.
Okay, gotcha. And so if there is any issue with the pet after they arrive, there is a vet close at hand if they need to check on them or help them in any way.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Also, if something is wrong with the pet, the handling team will notice and they will give us a heads up, and we just found the vet there just to
have a look.
Gotcha. Okay. How does this differ? Because presumably import can happen at Porto as well. I know that's another main city that people want to go to. So aside from Lisbon, is the process the same in Porto? Is it different? What are some considerations for importing at Porto?
Yeah, the process is really the same. Maybe the customs clearance is a little quicker because Porto Airport is a smaller airport and do not have so many flights arriving as Lisbon. So we can clear customs in Porto faster than in Lisbon.
Gotcha. Okay, great. That really, I think, will help our listeners and our viewers get a good understanding of what it takes to get a pet into Portugal and then what happens on the ground, and hopefully a good warning not to try to do customs clearance yourself. Go with the professionals on that, even if you speak perfect Portuguese, right? Not worth it. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about what life in Portugal with a pet is like. I know, Dr. Rita, you kind of hinted at that maybe the native Portuguese people don't have the same, they certainly don't see the same importance to vet care as maybe some expats that are coming into Portugal with their pets. But generally speaking, what is life in Portugal with a pet like? I mean, do a lot of Portuguese people have pets, or is it mostly foreigners that are coming in that have pets, or what is it like on the ground?
Okay, so I think most of us Portuguese people also have pets at home. We can see that like our generation and is caring more about the pets, because when I was a little kid we have a lot of stray animals in the streets, and we cannot see them now. So I think general awareness of animal welfare is having more importance here in Portugal. So, but I think almost every home in Portugal also have a pet, even a cat, a dog, a bird, like exotic.
Trees getting more pet friendly.
Yeah.
Passing the time, the year. So the young people right now is trying everything to put the pets as important as they are. So the country right now is understanding that. So we are being much pet friendly that it was 5 or 6 years ago. I think we are looking like a lot of difference in the past
Gotcha.
years.
Gotcha. Yeah. So tell me if these things exist in Portugal, because they exist here in the US. There's dog bars where you can go drink beer with your dogs. There's yoga that you can do with your dogs and your pets. There's all sorts of like dog bakeries that are popping up where, they bake treats, just for your dog, like get really high end treats for your pets. Are any of those things in Portugal yet?
Yeah, we can say yeah. But actually it's very interesting because a lot of those businesses for the pets are Americans opening
Of
here.
course. Of course. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we have this pet, especially dog bakery, very popular. I don't remember right now the name. She do like birthday cakes for dogs and cookies and cupcakes and this kind of things. But she's American, so
Okay. Okay.
and
Yep.
we have the puppy yoga. Yeah.
Oh, you do?
We're going kind of the next week. So
Okay.
yeah, she
Okay.
gave
All
me
right.
my birthday
Oh, okay.
present.
Okay.
But
Okay.
there's not so many. Like there's like one or two. It's something very new right now still.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
regarding to going to a restaurant or a bar with your dog or your pet, there right now, for example, almost every brunch cafe or these trendy cafes right now, most of all of them are pet friendly, and they also offers you like cookies and water, and they are like because it's more trendy and it's young people. So
Yep. Yep.
some restaurants, if they are new restaurants or if there's not fine dining, it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But if you can go with your pets everywhere if they have an outside tables for seats.
Okay.
If it's
Gotcha.
outside, usually it's fine.
Yeah.
Inside, it depends of the
Right.
place.
Right. Do you
For
see a
example,
lot
right
of
now, right now in Lisbon, you start having more places that you can go inside and they are pet friendly.
Gotcha. So you see a lot of pets and pet owners on the streets, walking around, going to restaurants and whatnot. If someone's bringing their pet over to Portugal, they're going to be in good company. There's going to be other pet owners there.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can see like in specific times of day, like in the morning and in the end of the day, everyone is walking their dogs.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. And
So you can make
presumably
friends.
it's what? What's that?
You can make friends.
I know here in America, there's dating groups where you bring your pet, and that's how you can meet your romantic partner through
Wow.
pet meetup. So maybe an American needs to start that over there, or maybe one of you guys can start that.
We don't know. Maybe they have and we don't know, right?
Maybe.
Nice.
Okay, so presumably there's a leash. Is there some sort of leash law in most cities there? That's big here in America, where the pet has to be kept on a leash, or what is that? The leash rule there in at least in Lisbon.
Yeah. So by the national law, all pets needs to have a leash everywhere.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, but I think no police is going to like see if the pet is on leash or not, because if you are in like a national park or in the mountains, you can have your dog off leash, of course, because you want for them to explore and everything. But it is important to have control over your dog if they encounters other dogs.
Right,
So,
right, of course. Just smart. Yeah, just wise thing to do. But just curious about what the laws are.
Yeah. So for all pets, leash is needed, and for potential dangerous breeds, also the muzzle is mandatory to have in the streets.
Okay. Yeah, that brings up a question, because some European countries do not allow import of certain types of dogs, like pit bulls and such. Does Portugal have any laws against the import of certain breeds?
So we do not have laws that restrict those breeds coming here, but they need to be neutered or spayed to enter the country. So if you can enter the country without having the pets neutered, but you will need to sign like
liability.
Yeah, like a term that you are going to do the surgery within two weeks of being here.
Okay. And what kind of breeds is required to do that?
I think it's 8 breeds. I don't know if I know all by head, but
Okay.
it's Pit Bull,
Doberman?
No, I think Doberman. It's I can check just
We
really quick.
We can drop a list in the show notes that goes over that. But I'm curious because you mentioned pit bull, and I kind of assumed that was one of them because other EU countries have that same rule. But we see a lot of mixed breed dogs that, if you look, or they will say that their pet is a Labrador mix, but you see the picture of it and it looks pretty much like a pit bull, or it's very clear that it's mixed with some sort of pit bull. So what did the authorities there, do they look at the official breed that's listed on the paper, or how do they make that decision to say, hey, that's a pit bull, that's not?
Okay. So it's important to look how your pet is imported. So if your pet goes to the veterinary inspection here, if they see that it is a pit bull mix, they will call me and say, if the pet is not neutered, the pet owner will need to sign the deal. But if the pet already comes with the veterinary inspection done, they will not pass to the veterinary, so they will be not checked. So it's not like a process that is very clear, but it's stated on the law, so
Gotcha.
You can, we recommend for all pets on those breeds to be neutered or spayed for the owners to not have any problems while here in Portugal. But at the end of the day, you just have to write down the statement if the pet is not neutered, that you are going to do the surgery within 2 weeks if your pet do the veterinary inspection here.
Gotcha. So as maybe another argument for going through Frankfurt or going through another European country with a layover into Portugal, because some of that scrutiny will be avoided. But you said that too, that they have to, when they're in public, that some of those strong, the strong jawed breeds, they have to have muzzles on as well.
Yeah. That is what is in the law. If you ask me if it is done, mostly of the times we don't see it, but we don't know how often, you can be approached by a policeman, asking for it,
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's good to know that what the laws are. What does vet care access look like in Portugal, since you were a vet and you know that world? Specifically, I'm thinking about people coming from America over to Portugal with their pets. Like, what should they expect? Are there a lot of vet clinics? Are they easy to get into? Is the services that are provided, are they about the same as in American vet clinics? What kind of insight can you shed on what the vet care landscape is like there in Portugal?
Yeah. I think it's pretty easy to find a veterinarian here in Portugal. We have a lot of clinics and hospitals. Even if you go to a bigger city, sometimes in the countryside is not that easy. You need drive around. For us, it's very different on the reality of the US for driving. For us, more than 1 hour is too far away.
Yeah.
So you can find a vet within 1 hour of your countryside land if you not go to the big cities in Lisbon. In Lisbon, you can find a veterinarian every 30 minutes walking. So it's quite a business here. But I think most of the days, almost every veterinarians can speak English. So I think it's quite friendly for the Americans coming here. And also, the vet care here, it's quite the same. Some differences can be made on the types of diseases that are endemic here or endemic in the US. So that we have some vaccinations that the only vaccination here that is mandatory, it's the rabies. So all pets need to have the rabies shots in day. Okay. All pets, all dogs, because the cats just need the rabies if they are going to travel. All dogs need to have, by law, have the rabies in day. But we have another vaccinations that are recommended for the pets that cannot be maybe are not the same that in the US, because it really depends on the diseases that are endemic here.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. And do you have any sense about what the costs are for vet care in Portugal versus maybe in America? I don't know if if you have a direct comparison of costs, but I mean, overall, what would you say the cost of vet care is there in Portugal?
I think it's cheap than in the US. I don't know. Adam, do you know how much like a rabies vaccination costs in the US for a dog?
Well, there are some clinics where you can get them for free. Otherwise, it's probably not more than $40 or $50 at some of the cheaper clinics. They do like pop-up clinics to get your pet vaccinated. So probably around that price point, 40 or 50 US dollars.
Okay. So I think it will be basically the same here. We also have some campaigns of free rabies on the shelters and everything. But I think like a veterinary appointment, if you do like need an appointment for checking something, it's like between 30 and 50 euros.
Okay. So it actually does sound like it might be a little cheaper for an appointment. Yeah. Is it accessible? Or are there like wait lists to get into clinics, or like if something urgent happens, if your pet is sick or hurts themselves, can you get into a vet clinic quickly?
Yeah, I would recommend going to a hospital because we have a differentiation between clinics and hospitals. If it is an emergency, I would recommend to go to a hospital, but you can try because normally the clinics here are to make a reservation for the appointment, but normally the hospitals have like someone on call to help with emergencies. They
almost 24/7.
Yeah, hospitals.
Yeah, that's good to know, because there's been an increase here in the U.S. of 24/7 animal hospitals. And there's also a new model that I see popping up where it's urgent care. It's not quite emergency, but it's also not
urgent care.
Yeah, where it's not like you have to schedule an appointment either and wait
with a nail, for example.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, curious to know if you guys know of any pet insurance companies in Portugal, because that's also a huge thing in the United States. Even companies are offering sometimes benefits to their employees that they'll pay for pet insurance if the employee has pets. So is that something that's happening in Portugal, to pay for vet expenses?
Yeah. We can see, like, since COVID, we can see the pet insurance increasing. We have several models of the insurance. We have some ones that has like a straight deal with a certain clinic or certain veterinarian, so you can only go to them. And we have another ones that are for reimbursement of the costs of the examinations, the appointments and that stuff. But I think it's gaining popularity here over in Portugal. And the veterinarians were not used to it because it's a little bit more work for them.
Right. Yeah, they have to submit paperwork.
They need to do all the
documentation,
reports, the clinical reports to submit to the insurance.
Yeah.
Extra jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all puppies that are coming now, the people are going to do insurance.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good for the Americans that are moving over there. If that pet insurance is important to them and they have that here, that they'd be able to find something over there in Portugal. Okay, cool. So if you're renting a house or an apartment, is there a lot of pet-friendly housing opportunities?
Yeah,
all of them almost. Maybe some of the new apartments, like they are right now doing the constructions, like the condominiums and stuff, but I don't think they have any rules for pets. Yeah. Basically, all of them are good with that.
Yeah, sometimes if it is like small apartment in central Lisbon, they do not like big dogs,
but there's not like a law or something
that
doesn't allow you to have it. No.
Do you see them rental properties charging extra fees for having pets? That's something that happens here in America, where you have to pay an extra $50 a month if you have a pet. Are you aware of anything like that in Portugal?
Depending if it's like a Airbnb or an hotel. If you are staying in an hotel, yes, they also charge you an extra amount for the pets. Sometimes about 15 euros or 100 euros, depending of if you are going for a stay in an hotel or an Airbnb, but only for this temporary stay.
Okay.
If it is a long rental from a local person, you can.
It's fine.
Normally, it's, or the person accept the pet or does not accept. Exactly. Normally, you do not have to pay extra.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, it sounds like life in Portugal with a pet is very similar to American life. And so Americans moving over there will find good company, and they'll find dog bakeries, thanks to some American expats that are.
Yeah, they will find a lot of new things. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, good to hear. Maybe we can back up a little bit, and Diana, if you can share a little bit about the services that Global International Relocation provides. You mentioned household goods, but I'm thinking about our customers who are coming to Starwood for pet relocation. Many of them are maybe going over to Portugal only for a year or 2 years or something like that. They'll want to come back to America. Many of them are bringing some household goods. The pet is just one part of a larger relocation package that they need. And so what are some of the other services that Global International Relocation can provide, both for people coming to Portugal, but then if they are leaving Portugal and coming back to America?
Yeah, like coming or going outside,
Mm-hmm.
not only from the US, but yes, for all around the world,
Mm-hmm.
going and coming. All right. Something like very quickly. So we can say like a relocation and like a mobility company.
Mm-hmm.
So we can help with the relocation and immigration. Basically, we can help you with the house finding, school, opening a bank account, and then all these location services that usually people look for some help for when they're moving to a new country. And then the immigration, we have our own lawyers inside of the company.
Oh, okay.
So they can help you with the visa, the IM appointment, doing your NIF number, that is the VAT number here in Portugal, and all the immigration services that people need to come to in this case to Portugal or to another country.
Okay.
We also have inside of the company our fine arts department. So we do move all fine arts. We work with museums or with private clients, and we have a own team specialized only for the fine arts. Okay, they only works with the fine arts goods items. And then we also have, and we also offer the car legalization for clients who wants to bring their car to import the car. We can help you with the legalization of the car, or even if you are just need some help for buying a new car in Portugal, we can also help you with that and all the process to buy the car. And what else? I don't know if I'm.
Sounds like you can do just about everything.
Yeah, we have so many things.
Do you transport wine collections?
Yeah. We also offer the storage. We have storage, long-term storage. And something that I can also say that our headquarters is in Lisbon, in Sintra, but then we also have our own warehouse and office in Porto and also in Faro, Algarve. And we can also help and operate all the islands around Portugal, from Madeira to Azores.
Great. Yeah, it's good to know. We get inquiries into Azores.
Absolutely.
So for household goods, you can assist with the import clearance of those as well. And then if a client is going back, say, to America, you could provide the packing and the actual transportation of a container like that's behind you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We offer a full door-to-door service. So all we include is the whole export packing and all the transport, even if it's by container, like a full container, or a LCL, like a share container, or we can also do it by air for small shipments, or if it is in Europe, we do by truck.
Okay, that's really good to know that you can do it by air, because some people that will be coming from America probably have smaller amounts of goods, and so you could do that by air, and obviously that would be the quicker. But I'm just curious about if you have to do a container or a partial container, how long does that usually take, door to door, in either direction? And let's use the US and Portugal as the two countries, like for both directions, about how long does that take, door to door?
So it will depend from which coast is coming, all right?
Okay,
and
right.
if it's coming from the California or that part of the coast, will take you about like 16 days.
16?
60.
60. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It could be something like that, but if it's coming from Florida or that part of the coast, will take you about 30 to 35. It always depends of the customs.
Gotcha. Okay. So that brings me to my next question. If someone is listening to this podcast and they are so attracted to Portugal because of the wine, the people, the food, all the things that you guys are talking about, and they really want to move to Portugal, how far in advance should they start planning? Say they only have a US passport, they don't have any EU passports or anything like that. How far in advance should they start planning their overall relocation, given everything that they need to do with bank accounts and visas and household goods and pets?
At least, I don't know, maybe about 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. I think is a good time to be okay, to don't be stressed and have time for everything and just, go with the everything goes slowly, and 3 months is a good time. Yeah.
Just to have time to prepare everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then if you want to exempt the taxes and duties with the household goods, you also need to have a document that calls baggage certificate. And for that, you need to go to the Portuguese consulate, the closest one where you are, and request it for it after you have the packing list. As soon as we do the packing and we give you the packing list, and then you have to go to the Portuguese consulate and ask for the baggage certificate, and then you will be allowed, or you will be inside of to be exempting taxes and
from
duties
taxes
from your
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's something
goods.
so if they're moving from the US to Portugal, that's something you can advise and assist on to say, hey, you need to, here's your packing list.
We always talk about it. We also, as soon as the people start talking with us or send us an email asking for help, we send a document explaining all the process for the documents needed for the exempted taxes and duties. And then we also always, or almost always, we schedule an online meeting with our surveyors or our sales team, and especially we have someone that is only for the Americans. Person is specialized for the American clients, and she always has these online meetings where she explains all the process and how it works, so she will be able to help you and assist you with the whole process to come into Portugal.
Gotcha. Wow. Okay. It sounds like it's a pretty comprehensive service, a concierge level service. So if our listeners want to learn more about your overall services for, relocation, where should they go to get more information?
You can go inside of our website, that is globalmobility.pt. It works both. And you can also, when you search about moving your goods in Google in Portugal, you will of course find us very quickly. Or even if you are searching for Global Pets, you will find a place that says that this is a division of Global International Relocation, and then you can find all other services we can offer.
Gotcha.
Out of the company. Absolutely. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. And of course,
you can always contact us. You can contact Diana DaCosta at global.pt or Rita.Afonso at globalpets.pt. You can always send an email, and of course we are so much happy and excited to assist and help with anything they need.
Yeah, I'm so thankful that you guys do it all. You do pets, you do household goods, immigrations, all that. That's so helpful. Obviously our services at Starwood, they always include your guys' import work for the pets, but like I said, moving over to Portugal is a lot more than just your pet, right? And so it's awesome that you guys have all those resources to help clients make the move over to a beautiful country with beautiful people and beautiful wine. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a great pleasure. I've learned a lot.
Thank you for your invitation, Adam.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. And we'll definitely drop any links and more information about your company in the show notes so that if people are interested and want a larger service for their relocation, they can reach out. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Follow us on Instagram to see pets coming to Portugal.
Yeah, or the
always need new accounts to see cute pets, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And a special thanks to our listeners and viewers for joining us today. If you're planning a relocation to Portugal, please feel free to visit our website where we have a ton of free resources and where you can also easily request a quote for our services. If you need assistance and services beyond just your pet, as you heard, be sure to reach out to Global International Relocation. Links will be below in the description and show notes. Please also be sure to subscribe to our channel so you can stay up on all the podcasts we have coming. Until next time, I'm Adam Melton for the Pet Travel Insider Podcast. Thanks for listening, and safe travels to you and your furry friends.